Lionel Messi's wait for World Cup glory is finally over after Argentina beat France in a dramatic penalty shootout on Sunday. It was a final for the ages, with momentum swinging both ways throughout a pulsating 120 minutes before Gonzalo Montiel scored the winning penalty, after the game had finished 3-3 after extra time. Messi, playing in his fifth and final World Cup, scored twice, but France's Kylian Mbappé netted a stunning hat-trick, the first in a final since 1966, as both superstars brilliantly slugged it out on the biggest stage of all. Messi's penalty and Angel Di Maria's first-half goal looked to have settled the tie in normal time, but Mbappé scored two late goals, one from the penalty spot, in as many minutes to draw France level. With both sides feeling the effects of the scintillating finale, Messi looked to have scored a winner in the 108th minute, but Mbappé, yet again, replied with an equalizer from the spot to take the game to penalties. After winning 7 Ballon d'Ors, lifting 38 trophies, and playing over 1,000 games in his career, the World Cup was the only title missing from Messi's collection. It's fitting, perhaps, that the 35-year-old clinched that elusive title in such a remarkable game. He's now matched his hero Diego Maradona, who guided Argentina to the World Cup 36 years ago, and further staked his claim as the greatest player in history. After all the hype heading into Sunday's showdown, it was Argentina who started the better of the two teams, aggressively pressing France and forcing it into mistakes. Messi looked sharp from the off, picking up pockets of space and instigating attacks, while Mbappé didn't see much of the ball during the opening stages. In the 23rd minute, Di Maria was adjudged to have been brought down in the box by Ousmane Dembele. Once the penalty was awarded, all eyes turned to Messi. Despite the weight of a nation and the eyes of the world on him, the great number 10 kept his cool and slotted past Hugo Lloris. There was an outpouring of emotion from the thousands of Argentine fans who outnumbered their French counterparts inside the Lusail Stadium. The goal saw Messi become the first player to score in the group stage, round of 16, quarter-finals, semi-finals and final of a single World Cup, according to Opta. After the opener, Argentina only grew stronger with France looking off the pace. The World Cup final is not the match to have a slow start, and France found themselves 2-0 down before the break after Di Maria finished off a flowing team move which had been started by Messi. France manager Didier Deschamps wasted no time in changing things, substituting Olivier Giroud and Dembele before halftime, but it initially made little difference as Argentina continued its domination into the second half. But just when it looked like the trophy was heading to Argentina, France was handed a lifeline after Randal Kolo Muani was brought down in the box and talisman Mbappé, who was peripheral for much of the match, scored the resulting penalty in the 80th minute. Momentum suddenly shifted as France, out of nowhere, found a burst of energy and Mbappé fired an sensational equalizer just a minute later. The action continued into extra time with both sides having chances with Messi poaching onto a stray ball to poke it over the line. But Mbappé wasn't done, and the 23-year-old completed his hat-trick from the penalty spot in front of a stunned stadium. Despite not being enough to inspire France to successive World Cup titles, Mbappé's third goal secured him the Golden Boot, given to the tournament's top scorer, after he netted 8 goals in Qatar, and he becomes only the second player, after Jeff Hurst in 1966, to score 3 times in a final. The drama continued into the penalty shootout with both Messi and Mbappé scoring their attempts before Argentina keeper Martinez stepped to do his bit for his country. As the dust settled on a final like no other, Messi, who was named player of the tournament, was left holding the golden trophy that he and Argentina worked so hard to win. Lionel Messi, wearing a black Qatari robe over his blue and white Argentina shirt, kissed the World Cup, shuffled toward his teammates and hoisted the golden trophy high in the air. It was an iconic sight that finally, definitively, places the soccer superstar in the pantheon of the game's greatest players. Messi's once-in-a-generation career is complete, he is a World Cup champion. Who is the greatest? It's a discussion that will rage forever because there can never be a definitive answer. Messi has put up a good argument, though, and, with the World Cup title on his resume, he is surely above Cristiano Ronaldo as the best player of his generation. Messi achieved what Maradona did in 1986 and dominated a World Cup for Argentina. He scored 7 goals and embraced the responsibility of leading his team out of those dark moments after a shocking 2-1 loss to Saudi Arabia in the group stage. Playing in the spirit of Maradona, Messi coupled his dazzling skills with rarely seen aggression and led Argentina to the title by becoming the first man in a single edition of the World Cup to score in the group stage and then in every round of the knockout stage. The torch will one day pass to Mbappé, but not just yet. Let's go, Argentina. Messi roared into a microphone on the field in the post-match celebrations after playing in a record 26th World Cup match. Later, he said, "I can't wait to be in Argentina to witness the insanity of this." Messi had a tantalizing glimpse of the 18-karat gold World Cup trophy when walking on the stage to collect the golden ball, awarded to the player of the tournament. He even kissed the World Cup and rubbed it repeatedly. He got his hands on it for good about 10 minutes later, after a ceremonial robe, a bisht, was draped over his shoulders by Qatar's Emir, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. And, oh, did he enjoy the moment, celebrating with his family and the teammates who put Argentina atop the soccer world for the first time since the 1986 World Cup in Mexico. The country's other title came in 1978 on home soil. Messi was in scintillating form from the start of the final, putting Argentina ahead from the penalty spot after Angel Di Maria was tripped and later playing a part in a flowing team move that resulted in Di Maria making it 2-0 after 36 minutes. Mbappé, on the other hand, was anonymous until bursting into life by scoring 2 goals in a 97-second span, one an 80th minute penalty, the other a volley from just inside the area after a quick exchange of passes, to take the game to extra time at 2-2. Messi still had plenty of energy and he was on hand to tap in his second goal in the 108th minute, with a France defender clearing the ball just after it had crossed the line. Argentina was on the brink of the title once again, but there was still time for another penalty from Mbappé, after a handball, to take the thrilling game to a shootout. "We managed to come back from the dead," said France coach Didier Deschamps, whose team was looking to become the first back-to-back champions since Brazil in 1962. Mbappé and Messi took their team's first penalties and scored. Kingsley Coman had an attempt saved by Argentina goalkeeper Emi Martinez, and Aurelien Tchouameni then missed for France, giving Gonzalo Montiel the opportunity to end it. He converted the penalty to the left and sparked wild celebrations. "The match was completely insane," said Argentina coach Lionel Scaloni, who was asked if he had a message for Maradona, who died 2 years ago. "If he had been here, he would have enjoyed it so much," Scaloni said. "He would have been the first person on the field to celebrate. I wish he'd have been here to enjoy the moment." Europe's run of 4 straight World Cup winners, dating to 2006, came to an end. The last South American champion was Brazil, and that was also in Asia, when Japan and South Korea hosted the tournament in 2002. In Qatar, Argentina backed up its victory from last year's Copa America, its first major trophy since 1993. It's quite the climax to Messi's international career, which is not over just yet. He said after the match that he would continue to play with the national team. It was quite a final for a unique World Cup, the first to be played in the Arab world.